presented by Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Lindsey Rhodes and Scott Hanson here with a certain wide receiver now present and accounted for in Napa.
Lindsey, I've always said Antonio Brown has a knack for the end zone and for being the lead story on NFL Total Access. In summary today, his helmet will be compliant. His feet are getting there, but not 100% just yet. His location is the reason he's the top story tonight. Antonio Brown back at Raiders camp. Arriving today after a nearly 2-week absence, he's been dealing with reported frostbite on his feet from cryotherapy and battling the league over which type of helmet he will wear this season. AB not practicing just yet, but back on the mic.
A lot better, working towards 100%. It's been a process with the feet. Anytime, you got a lot of blisters and, it's hard to change direction, cut and run and be able to do what I do naturally. But I'm going to start from the good foot. I've been away getting a lot of work, so I'm excited to just move forward.
Do you have a timeline when you'll be able to practice?
I guess you guys stay tuned. I see my face all over the news, all the talk, but these guys have been doing a good job with supporting me. It's grateful to hear them come out about it, and I'm excited here to just do my job.
We'll work him back in. Obviously, it's great to have him back. We've had a pretty good understanding in spite of what people think. We had a pretty good understanding what's going to happen, and now we're ready to get rolling.
You expect him for the opener?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Think you'll play any at all in the preseason, John?
I don't know. That remains to be seen.
Was it important to you to have him come out here today, be out here in Napa today?
I'm not going to really talk about it anymore. We've had a pretty good understanding of the foot injury. We know where he's been. We know what he's been through. We're thrilled to have him back, and obviously we think he's a great player, and we're anxious to get the men together and get rolling.
The injury is pretty serious. If you guys had a chance to see it when it happened, it was significant. It's a very serious injury, and we're taking it one day at a time. Hopefully he'll be back on the field soon, but the injury was the reason that he was away from the team. 1, 2, the helmet's something we've been working on for months, and we've been working with the NFL and working with the Raiders to figure out a solution. We think we found one. We're working on that right now.
Well, we're working with the NFL in regards to the helmet, and I'll make sure I put on the right equipment-approved helmet, and I'll be ready to go shortly.
All right, let's go live to Napa right now. MJ Acosta was there for AB's second training camp arrival. No hot air balloon this time, but questions from head to toe. Good evening, MJ.
Good evening, Scott. And there's certainly a lot to unpack in Antonio Brown's return to Napa. The most pressing question is, when will AB return to practice? In that regard, we'll have to, quote, stay tuned. Those were AB's words directly. Now, while he says that his recovery is progressing, he did not comment on how the injury to his feet happened in the first place. His agent, Drew Rosenhaus, also said that he could not comment on how, or the cause rather, of the injury, but did say the reason they can't speak about it is because there could be legal action coming in the near future involving that cryotherapy company. Now, here's what comes next in Antonio Brown's search for a new helmet. According to Drew Rosenhaus, they have narrowed down the selection to helmets that are compliant with the league safety standards, those made within the last 10 years. But this will be a thorough search for Antonio Brown, who now is replacing a key piece of his equipment. As Rosenhaus put it, this is a helmet he's used his entire career and has been a huge part of his game.
MJ Acosta live with the Raiders, who now have their star wide receiver at least in camp, if not yet on the practice field. Thank you, MJ.
Scott, I see you are MJ, and I add a D. Maurice Jones-Drew
Makes sense.
with us in studio today, a former Raider who just spent a week with the team prepping for that preseason game last week against the Rams. Are you concerned about the feet?
Well, I mean, you're always concerned with when you have what we come to believe is frostbite, right? Like that's something, if that's what was reported, that's true, then yes, you're very concerned. And if I'm the Raiders, I want to make sure he's completely healthy before I get him back on the field. I don't want to rush him back out there. And I think John Gruden was right. That's what I gathered. They understood where AB was when he was getting back, where he was gone for those 2 weeks. They knew he was going to take care of his feet. It wasn't the helmet situation. in our meeting. I was trying to explain that, but I'm glad John cleared it up a little bit. But again, Antonio Brown's a tremendous player. When he's on the field, when he's around, the energy is electric. And that's what Gruden wants. That's what this team missed. When I was there last week when the Rams were there, it wasn't as electric as people have talked about. So obviously having him back, you see the energy. I don't know if everyone's on Twitter or Instagram, but the Raiders had him shaking his teammates' hands and those type of things. And that's what you want him there for. Now, getting him on the field is the second thing.
Does he look like he's walking kind of gingerly there?
Oh, no, I'm not an expert at walking. I can't read how people walk, But again, I've had injuries to my feet. It takes some time. It takes a lot of time to heal those things. So hopefully he gets back ready to go because the Raiders need him. And if the Raiders do have him, he's able to be at his top. I think the Raiders will be a team that's contending in the AFC.
Well, it sounds like they're expecting to see him back by week 1. Probably won't see him in the preseason, though maybe. We will see the Raiders again on Thursday, though the rest of the team. They've got the Cardinals in Arizona at 8 p.m.